You're listening to The Joe Cronin Show, a wrestling podcast with attitude.
So tonight is Monday Night Raw, which is insufferable, kind of, because last night was NXT Takeover. By the way, NXT Takeover, a full review and breakdown and reaction from myself and Jake DeMarco is on the way today. Stay tuned for this around 3 o'clock. We're going to see how it goes, see if you guys like it, see if it's a good deal. If not, we'll probably try to do some of these on Patreon. But today I think it will take place live on YouTube. I'm going to wait for Jake. I was going to do it myself in a few minutes because last night I was loaded. Like last night, my reaction and my review, I mean, I was loaded. I was high as hell, and I was just loaded. I mean, I was really messed up. So you could tell. I mean, I couldn't even formulate an opinion. I was just kind of in a coma. Chocolate edibles will do that. I guess that's the effect of chocolate edibles on Joe Cronin, and that's why I don't do that stuff. Because like I turn into like a zombie. I was sitting there, you guys were like, what do you think about the show? And I would say, like, that was really good. Like, I had nothing to say. So anyway, we're going to have an actual extensive review of NXT TakeOver coming up. I could do it solo, but Jake let me know that he's going to be back from the doctor around 2 o'clock or so. So I'm going to schedule it in for around 3 today. So we'll see you for that a little bit later. But while we wait, Monday Night Raw is tonight. And I know we're all excited about Monday Night Raw after a great NXT TakeOver. Nothing like a great NXT TakeOver to then talk about Raw. But tonight the preview is Rusev. Rusev's back, people, and Humberto Carrillo are gonna team up. Their powers are gonna combine against Bobby Lashley and Angel Garza, which I just don't care about that match at all. So. I don't care because I don't like Humberto Carrillo. I don't really care about Rusev anymore. Bobby Lashley is terrible. The version of Bobby Lashley from WWE, at least, is terrible. Angel Garza is really good. I like him, but, it's just a nothing story I don't care about. So right there, you can write a bathroom break-in right there. What lies ahead for Becky Lynch in the wake of Shayna Baszler's attack? Very, very little interest there for me. Maybe a little bit because of Shayna Baszler biting her the other day. So I do have a little bit of interest. I don't want to lie. I do have a little bit of interest in that one. With Shayna Baszler biting her the other day. Where are they going to go? But it seems like it's a lot of rinse and repeat with Becky. Do you guys realize that I think the last 3 or 4 feuds Becky's had have all been like she gets assaulted? Have you guys noticed that? Every one of her feuds? Like someone hits her with like a kendo stick or someone jumps her or somebody cheats and beats her up. Someone sprays mist in her face. Shayna Baszler tries to fucking eat her. I mean, like, it's just every one of Becky's rivalries starts with some kind of a bizarre attack or something. Then we have the Matt Hardy, which he's been selling the hell out of this all week, of course. Matt Hardy, we're surprised Matt Hardy's back. You almost wonder about the contract situation in a way because we thought he was done last week, and then now they bring him back again. But that could just be a booking decision. Because he's not done until March 1st. So maybe they figure use him again. So no holds barred. And maybe this is them trying to act in good faith. Maybe they're trying to act in good faith a little bit and use him some more. You know what I mean? While they're being like, hey, you want $8 million to stay. And we want to use you. See, we're putting you in this Orton match. We got all this stuff. And then right when he says yes, they go right back to just like barely using him. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. But most likely Matt Hardy's gone. Most likely Matt Hardy's going to leave. But yeah, so that's kind of a no holds barred match. I mean, I don't know why we'd be looking forward to this because Matt Hardy has lost several times now. Like convincingly lost to people several times. In these sort of squash matches, making them look kind of ugly. But, maybe this will be more of a competitive match. I don't know. It seems like it's all set up so that maybe Edge can return tonight and help out Matt Hardy. So it will come down to, again, Orton's going to punt him in the head or kick him with the chair or, concerto him, whatever you want to call it, whatever he's doing with that chair, smashing his head. And then Edge will show up maybe and chase off Orton or something like that, So maybe that will happen. I would expect that to happen in the middle of the show somewhere or at the end of the show. The very last thing or in the middle of the show. Seth Rollins to hold a sermon on Monday Night Raw, which is that actually sounds funny. I know it's stupid, it's cheesy, it's clearly Vince McMahon, you know. You're the Monday Night Messiah. Like, that's just straight up out of Vince. So Seth Rollins is going to hold a sermon. That could be awful or awesome. It really could. But most likely, knowing the WWE writing nowadays and how everything is, it's probably going to be terrible. Stay tuned for updates for Raw, blah, 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 from Wrestling Inc. Mark Middleton. WWE put this press release out themselves, and Wrestling Inc. capitalized on it. So, yeah. I don't know, man. I'm not really looking forward to it too much. There's a couple little things there, but that's really about it. Big takeaway from last night's NXT TakeOver was the Jake DeMarco signs in the crowd, the JCS and Joe Cronin Show signs in the crowd, and, of course, the Tommy NC's Barber signs in the crowd last night. Somebody. And, by the way, the signs got taken away. One of the first times. Our signs never usually get taken away. We've never really seen it. I don't know if it was because they had 3 of them and they didn't know what they meant. You know what I mean? But normally they don't take the JCS signs. I think Road Dogg hates us, though. You guys would have to reach out to Road Dogg and ask him, though. But it could have just been they were blocking people's views a bunch. Or, you know what I mean? Look at this. They had 3 signs and they were holding them up a lot like this. So maybe that's what maybe they were like, all right, listen. You know, I mean, what do these signs say, you know? It doesn't say I love Roman. Jake DeMarco, you know? I'm Tommy's barber. I mean, that was pretty funny. But yeah, so anyway, guys, I'll be back hopefully on YouTube in a little bit live, potentially, maybe, I think. Maybe live around 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. with Jake to give an official review of NXT TakeOver. Yesterday was my kid's birthday party, and then Troy was here, and, you know, we were hanging out, so I didn't really want to break down and do the review. And, you know, but I want to get one out there. I really love the women's. I love Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai. I just love that match. I don't know what it is. I heard some other people saying that was like the weakest one, but it was still good. I thought it was like one of the best ones. But I had an issue with all the endings. We'll talk about that tonight or in a little while live. I may go live in a few minutes on Corrupted too, just to hang out for a few before we do that. So I'll be live with that. I'll be live with this. And if you guys really enjoy the NXT reviews on YouTube live, think about becoming a patron and show some love on Patreon right now because the NXT reviews don't really do well. And I'm thinking about just moving them all completely over to Patreon for the exclusive content over there. So let me know if you want to support. Check out patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show and throw some support there. You know, maybe I'll keep it on YouTube if I see a lot of signups today or something, but otherwise, I may move the NXTs over to Patreon completely because they just don't do well, you know? But yeah, we had a lot of fun last night. A lot of fun. And I rewatched it again, too. So that was the big thing. I rewatched it, not high and drunk. I was high and... I wasn't drunk, but I mean, I was like buzzed and high last night. I was like, I look like a coma. So I don't want to be in a coma. I want to be awake. You know, to actually know. And I was pretty much felt the same. After I watched it a second time, I pretty much felt the same way. I didn't, you know, change too much about what I thought. We do have a schedule for, they're saying MVP scheduled for tonight's Raw again. So, looks like he'll be there again. And it looks like they're hiring MVP as a producer in the back. So, he's going to be doing some kind of work in the back on Raw. So, we're seeing... You know, they may be able to kind of use MVP here or there for these little segments and moments, but at the same time, he's going to be working in the back with the other guys. So, I mean, that's the rumor, and I got to imagine it might be true based on, like, you know, when they brought him back, and maybe they had that in mind anyway, and they sweet-talked him, and they liked his attitude a lot, and so they must have liked something about him, you know, and thought, like, let's bring him in. We need a producer. So, maybe that's the situation. Yeah, there's really nothing else. I don't think there's anything else right now that I can see. There's a few other things. You know, I by the way, I've been sent the Teddy Hart things. I know he got arrested for weed and like steroids or something like that allegedly. I don't know exactly, but I know that it happened. I just didn't feel like making a video on it. But yeah, I understand it happened. A lot of people were talking about it. And that's it. That's about it. I'll talk about everything else with Jake. I'm gonna wait on everything to get Jake here. I don't want to go over it a third time, you know. So we'll talk about it later, and I'll be live maybe in a few minutes over on Corrupted Nation. And think about giving us some support on Patreon. Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Here's some other videos that you guys might have missed popping up for you right now. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. Share the videos there where you can. And feel free to leave a comment and a like down below, and we might even respond to some of those afterwards. So throw some out there.